If you like this podcast or the previous ones, please consider buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Frankie'sPod. It just goes to help fund the software and the hosting. Hi, welcome back to the podcast. Tonight I'm talking to Fraser Carson. Now, Fraser served with the Royal Artillery, 47 Regiment, my old favourite regiment at the time. He didn't do too long in the army because he's seen the light and he left. But we'll get onto that in a minute and find out why. After the army, he was a paramedic and is now a firefighter. But that's not how I found Carson. I found him on TikTok because his other passion is photography. And what I seen over the Remembrance weekend was a project that he did, photographing veterans, some of them leaving messages like a little video chat, stuff like that, talking about just bringing them a bit more to life than just having the photo. The photography was amazing, I must admit. I'll take me out of here for that. It really was. And Fraser's now been asked to work with a charity, which again we'll come into later on. So welcome to the podcast. I'm really glad you've turned up to do it.
Cheers, Frankie. Appreciate it.
No, honestly, I'm chuffed to bits, like I am with everyone that comes on. You know, sometimes I sit here and think, are they going to turn up? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But, you know, that's the way it goes. But it's the same questions I've got for you that I have for everybody else, which is, where did you grow up? Why did you join the military? What was it like? Why did you leave? I'm interested in that, actually.
Yeah.
Why did you leave? And what have you done since? So if you just want to start off, give us a bit of a background about yourself. Like, where did you grow up? What drew you to join the military?
Well, I started as a child. My childhood, the first memories I started off, I was about 4 years old. It was just me and my mum. And we was living in London, like London area. Mum met my dad. Well, I call dad his stepdad, but he's a dad to me. He come into my life about 4, and he's a former Royal Marine, not ex-Marine, Royal Marine, former. So that was my first connection with the military in a way. From there, it was obviously growing up with like dad. He would always talk about stories like during his service and the time in Marines. And I used to love listening to his stories, and I think anyone would, like, with their parents and their grandparents. So I had some sort of interest in the military from there on. As I grew up, obviously living with dad, he used to love the outdoors, which got me enjoying the outdoors. I think, and obviously I used to love planes as a kid. I used to love going to like Biggin Hill Air Show, watching all that stuff. And so like anything military, I used to buzz off. About 13, I joined Air Cadets. My parents just thought it would do me good, and it did do me good. I did that for 3 years. You know, I got to go flying and do all sorts of, camps and stuff. It just set me a bit straight during my teen years. I then left at 16 because I thought, this is rubbish. Get me out. When really I should have stuck with it. I have a habit of doing things and then I'll do it for like a few months or a couple of years and I'll be like, I'm bored now. I want to do something else. So, yeah, from there I was like, well, hit my 18, found beer and went a bit loose for a couple of years. Was a bit of a muppet during it. And I think I always had a set goal that I wanted to go into the military. Initially, I wanted to go for RAF. Obviously, being Air Cadets, I wanted to get into the RAF. And what put me off going to them was one day we went to Exeter to go recruitment office. Oh, so yeah, we moved to Somerset when I was 13, and then we end up in that area.
I bet that's a bit different to growing up around London, though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, this is it. So my parents decided to move from London after the 7/7 bombings. A couple of years later, they're like, we need to get out. Shit's going down. So we need to find somewhere else to live. They found Somerset. And it was, what I'm annoyed is, as a kid, I used to think this place is boring. There's nothing much around. There's not much for kids out there. But now I'm like, well, I'm 32. I'm like, I want to be back there. Like, it's got like a lovely outdoors, like the hills are Exmoor, and that's amazing. So I'm a bit like, bollocks. Like, I'm stuck in Wiltshire now, so
yeah, Wiltshire's not too bad.
It's not, yeah, but it's not Somerset. Like, if you go around Exmoor, Dartmoor, it's stunning. So yeah, ended up in Somerset and then grew up there, which I think was also a push to why I wanted to get into the military, because it it was an excuse to get away from the hometown, because I don't think there wasn't much around for me to like career progress, and I didn't really have a passion to go into like as a as building or any. Most of the jobs around that area were like trade works, and I didn't really have a passion for it. So yeah, got to 19 and applied for the army, and I was going through like the stages, doing pretty well, and the thing that made me want to join was Afghan was kicking off, and I was watching video clips, and a few of my mates who are older were all going out and doing it, and doing their bit, and I was like, I want a bit of that, but I didn't want to get in. If you know me pretty well, I'm a bit of a fucking soft touch, and I like helping people. I love helping people, whatever they need. I'm always down to helping, and that what took my liking to becoming a medic. Like I really wanted to be a medic on the front. I didn't care about carrying a rifle. I just wanted to get there and run to the lads who fucking injured. And so that was partly why I wanted to join that. And then also like watching. Do you remember the BBC channel Our War, when like the show, so like it shows certain events. The certain episode of Chris Gray when he'd fallen, and all the lads like chipping in trying to get him back to the Kazivac him back to the vehicle. That episode made me like, fuck me, if I was there, I'd fucking proper go for it, like as well. Like I'd be part of that group. And he just like, yeah, like I really wanted to be a part of that group to help the lads who were ever injured and get them back home. Sod's law, me being a fucking idiot, during my application of the army, had a set date for it, going as medic, and I had a fucking car crash.
Fucking
But I was being a dick. So what happened was, we was doing like this time trial thing, and I had an old school Rover Mini, and me and my mate in the car, and we were doing pretty well, and then we was just pissing around while we was going up next for like one of the time trials, and I bomb burst through this gate, and in the gate through the like this the like farm gate, there's like a divot, and what it done, the Mini nose dug in, bounced, come up, and me and my mate like, that was fucking epic, and like all of the mates who were watching like, go and do it again, we'll film it. Obviously I was like, yeah, Rog. So went back and this time flung it around, and my mate Howie sat next to me like, mate, let me get my fucking seatbelt on. I was like, mate, you don't fucking need that, you'll be all right. I didn't have mine on, and this time obviously confidence can be a fucking killer, and made me fucking go quicker through. And this time I was fucking bomb bursting it through, and there's a video on it somewhere on Facebook. Bomb burst through, obviously nose digs in, and then I remember being behind the steering wheel, and I've gone, oh fuck, standard fucking thing I say. And the Mini comes up, nose, and it just starts rolling. And the last thing I remember was like being upside down in the car and the front windscreen going, and then I just black out. The next thing I remember is waking up on the floor. My mate's holding my neck, like, mate, you're all right. And apparently what happened, as the Mini rolled, I got flung out of the window. My mate got flung back into the back of the car. And yeah, the car was teetotaled. It was just fucked. So yeah, come out. And I didn't break anything. I just had a deep cut to my shin. And I pulled a ligament on my back, which pulled a bit of bone off my spine. Which it was like more numbness than pain. Which made my legs were battered, and I was pretty lucky. But sod's law, after the accident, a couple of weeks later, obviously the army were like, I for some reason I said to the army, I've had a car crash, I've got back problems, and I fucking regret it. I regret it so much, because they're like, well, you're gonna have to postpone your application. You've got to do like a 3-month training plan to prove you're still fit to go in the army, and then you'll go back into it. I was like, for fuck's sake. So I had to do that fitness plan. So yeah, I missed out on my training date. I had to do the 3-month fitness plan, and then I had to wait another year for position for medic to come up, because it was a nightmare to get in anyway. So I had to wait another year to get medic. But I was getting to a point where I was just doing my part-time job in Tesco's, and I was just fucking bored of it. I was just so bored of like just being where I was. So I called up recruitment office, like, what other positions can I do? And they're like, well, you can do infantry, artillery, like logistics, all that stuff. I was like, I looked at artillery. I was like, send me to artillery. Like, and obviously at the time you don't pick your regiment, you just pick cat badge. And they're like, yeah, cool. And literally a couple of months later, like, yeah, you got a start date for artillery. You're gonna be training at Winchester. And I was like over the moon. I was like, fucking right. Yeah, I can't wait. And then yeah, I started training 19th of May 2013.
Fucking hell, I feel old.
Sorry.
I left the army in 2012.
Sorry, just there. Drop that
I've been
one.
out the army like half your life. You know, I don't look it though, so I've been told.
Yeah.
What was it like turning up and training for you? You've had your stepdad in your life, or your dad as you call him, like, and that's lovely that you do call him your dad, and don't class him as your stepdad. That's brilliant. You've had him in your life, giving you bits, telling you stories, stuff like that. You've been through air cadets, and I've spoken to loads of people who've been in the cadets, and they've said, it really helped me going into training and stuff like that. And I think, I think some of them might have exaggerated that. I even had one lad tell me that, I was that good as good in the cadets. I didn't have to go to training. How did you find it? So did being in the air cadets actually really help?
100%. So I know we rip each other when people say, oh, they've been in cadets. You're like, oh, fucking hell, cadets. But I do feel like it does help you. So like you meet probably 2 times a week, going through drill, outdoor active, like, doing your outdoor little exercises and that. But then they also send you on to like week training camps. They get you to like do your leadership stuff and then just teach you like basic admin of how to look after your kit. So before you even join the army, you've got the idea of how to polish shoes, how to iron your kit, how to like look after yourself. So you're in a good standard already for training. Because then when it does come to the training, you can start helping the other lads, and the lads, you start building a better bond with it. So I do feel like cadets is great. It's the fact that youth clubs have been taken away. I feel like still having cadets is a good way of the kids still bonding together, but just building up that discipline and that respect, really.
Yeah, I totally agree. There is a serious lack of facilities for their teenagers and for them to do, and then just go around and fucking stick a balaclava on, ride around on a scooter.
Yeah, literally. Yeah,
and they're not doing anything worse than I did when I was that age.
No.
We didn't have electric scooters. We were just fucking roaming around the streets in little gangs, scaring people.
Yeah.
They're not doing anything different than we did. It's just as
they've just got nothing to. Yeah, they've got nothing to do. And
we had fuck all to do. In the early 80s, there was fuck all to do. We always think our own entertainment, but to be honest, we were never as bad as. I say, they've got nothing to do and stuff like that. I look back at my time. We didn't walk around with fucking knives stuffed down our pants.
No. It was all done by fist, though. Really, back in the day.
No. We our little gang. There was probably about 8 of us. Used to like hang around and all that, and we did have a knife, but we used to share it. It was whoever's job it was to carry it that day. Or the reason we didn't have it for any. Honestly, this sounds fucking stupid. We didn't have this. It was a Bowie knife as well. It was quite a fucking chunky one. We didn't have it for anything bad. We had it. There was a Tarzan swing in the local cemetery. Rope hanging off a tree.
Yeah.
And we'd be playing like knifey with that. So you swing out as far as you can, lean back and throw it in the ground. And then you've got to swing out and grab it. And that was what we had it for. There was nothing like going up to scare people in that.
Yeah.
Or we might have played chicken with it a few times, but it's just, it seems like society's changed as it is. We can't help it.
Yeah.
But it can be quite scary because it's just the attitude of some of the youth nowadays. Because I think youth has changed. We don't have the discipline that we used to have. So your parents aren't allowed to smack you anymore and stuff like that. Whether that's a good or a bad thing, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, we digressed enough. So you've got a training. Was any of it a shock for you? And I'm not going to go. It was always worse in my day because I can't say that because I never went through training with
you. Yeah.
I don't know what training was like for you. I know the red card, the yellow card, and all that. Whatever.
Well, typically I got put into the troop that was like renowned for its. They had to be told to calm their beastings down. So I was in 10 troop, and they were the instructors were told to calm down because their last troop they absolutely smashed, and everyone around the camp was like, "Fucking hell, you're in 10 troop, you're gonna have it hard." And so obviously, speaking to like other recruits, were like, "Oh fuck's sake, like what we put ourselves in for." But I thought training was fucking good. It was going to be hard. I knew it was going to be hard, but I think I just accepted it. Like, yeah, like I enjoyed it. I did enjoy parts of it, and there's times I'm like, fucking hell, this is rats. But yeah, it's it. You look back at it and you do laugh about it. There's like so many episodes that happen during training. You're like, fucking hell, yeah. I remember time on exercise. I think it's like it was like the 4-day or something. Sitting on stag, it was like 2 a.m. Me and my mate sitting on stag, and we're fucking, you're tired and that, and you're like, fuck's sake. And I remember looking through night vision, going, fucking hell, these ain't working. And it was like pitch black. I was like, this ain't right. And I was like, looking around, I was like, mate, are these fucked? And he was like, yeah, there's nothing, I can't see anything. Me and him were both like, oh, these are shagged. And I kept looking through it. And I started look around the arcs. So I started at left, and I could see like moonlight coming through the trees, and it goes like black, and then like moonlight through trees. I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And I put my hand in front, and the poncho for the sentry position collapsed. So we're just sitting behind the sheet of fucking poncho for like last 45 minutes. I'm like, "Mate, you're fucking knackered." Like,
yeah,
literally. So. But yeah, there's times where I fucking loved like I did enjoy exercise, especially like the contact drills. I think every lad loves it though. You get to be a soldier, don't you?
Oh fucking hell! When I talk to people on here, every now and again, like thoughts come back, and the thought just come back from when I was a junior leaders. We were in one of our, we used to call them fieldcraft camps, and we'd all been on home on leave and bought big fucking Rambo knives and stuff like that. So we're all fucking tough soldiers, all 16, 17-year-olds, And there was this, I think we were over in Norfolk way, I can't remember exactly where it was, but we were doing a section attack in this field. And like you get the big clumps of grass that grow up.
Yeah, the baby heads.
Yeah, so it was one of them. I'd like, look at me, boys, dived over it and done a forward roll. As that forward roll, there was something soft on the ground that I landed in, and it was a dead sheep. Which then exploded as I fucking rolled into it. I was covered in snot and guts and fucking throwing up. And yeah, funny enough, no one had come near me after that for a while. Just fucking stinking. Anyway, right. So, I mean, first one you've liked. Did you get to choose which regiment you were going to go to?
So I didn't get to choose until phase 2, which is at Larkill. I can't remember how many weeks. That phase 2 is like getting your driving, so like Land Rover's done, comms, some other things as well. So like phase 2's, like obviously you build up your skills for the artillery. I think near like the end we got to choose, and it was nails. Like everyone's saying like it was nails. Everyone wanted to go to 4-7 because it was drones at the time. No, it still is now. And everyone wanted a bit of that really because it's a trade, and look where it's advanced now. So everyone sort of knew like where it was going. So I put down 4-7, and I think I put like 5th reg as like a risk for my second, which is like up north. It was a big risk, and
it's not wrong being up north, mate.
No, well, yeah, but not when you're southerner.
You just can't go on at weekends.
Oh, especially up there. Jesus Christ. Yeah, and obviously waited for ages to be told what regiment I got, and then I got 4-7 regiment, and they were like, okay, what battery? 2-1 battery. Yeah, it's the airborne unit. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake! I was like, I wasn't expecting it. And one of the bombardiers was just like, I was the one who put you forward for that. I think you got potential for the battery. So I was like, I sort of like had a second thought. Okay, I'll give it a go. And so I ended up having 2-1 air assault battery. 4-7.
2-1 batteries. It's been 4-7 for like fucking donkey.
Yeah.
But it was always separate. Even when we were in Germany, it was air units, and the rest of us were an
entity. So
they have to be special. You know what I mean? I took me out after 2-1 battery because there were always a good bunch of lads in there.
Yeah,
they were all switched on. There was some really good guys. So you'd have been down at Thorney Island then?
To start with, yeah. So down
Best
at
posting
Thorney.
in the artillery, that.
Say again.
Best posting in the artillery.
Oh, massively! It's a hidden secret for the army. Like
Yeah.
the base has got its own beach, and it was just it was fucking amazing to be on there. And then Sod's Law, the army makes changes, and it told us that all 47's moving up to Larkhill, which is a fucking downgrade, really.
Well, who's at Thorney now then?
12 and 16, the air defence.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, air defence.
Yeah.
Actually, I should know that.
So typical. So we end up in Larkhill, which is like middle of fucking nowhere. Shit nights out because it's either Amesbury or Salisbury compared to Portsmouth. So
fucking hell, is that place still open on the South Sea, Joanna's?
Oh, I'm not too sure.
Oh, that was a proper sticky match place. It was fucking mint.
Sorry, don't beat Ruby's and Amesbury though, does it?
Oh no.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird. You'd say to people, right, you're getting posted at Larkhill, even in like my day. I did 2 years in 3-4 battery, and it's just 3-4 battery, and I was like, oh, fuck's sake, because you only ever go to like Larkhill when you're on a course, and it's just full of fucking officers. It's full of fucking You think, oh, fuck's sake. And then you get there, and it's different working there. And I must admit, 2 years at Larkhill for me was probably, I wouldn't say 2 of the best years that I had in the army, but it was up there. I didn't want to leave. I didn't mind being in Larkhill. Jumping a car South Coast an hour and a bit away, stuff like that. I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. Would I go back? Would I fuck?
Yeah. I'm only down the road from it. And I still look at it like, fuck that. I'd say like the time in Larkhill with the boys, it was good crack. Like the block parties we had, because they put us in the transit block, which was going to get demolished anyway. So we was put in like this old transit block, and it was fucking carnage. Like the block parties. I remember I was on guard duty this night, and I remember getting a phone call, or the bombardier got a phone call saying from one of the seniors mess, like, 2-1, the lads are 2-1 are fucking carnage. You need to tell them to turn the music down. And the bombardier was like, sent 2 lads up to go and tell them off, or like tell them to turn the music down. The lads turned up and they're like, they just looked at each other and turned around. They're like, it's like fucking Project X. It's like shit was kicking off and fucking like the speaker was out. And the block parties were fucking mega. Like, we knew that's party.
So, I mean, they built new camps. It's a long time since I've been to Larkhill. They built new camps there, haven't they?
So they've made it into a super garrison now. So all the people from Germany have come over to Larkhill, and then they've built, load more accommodation, changed the medical centre, all sorts. It's massive now.
Quite interesting to go back and have a look at that.
Yeah, definitely. You'll be surprised how much has changed.
Yeah. So what was it like? I mean, one thing I must say is that you joined the army knowing you were going to go to Afghan.
Oh yeah, so I forgot about that. So during training, so I was like, hopefully I'll get to Afghan. And I think a couple of weeks into training, Corporal like turned up. He was like, we was all parade. He was like, right lads, just to fucking tell you, none of you going to Afghan. They're looking to close it down. I was just like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, what am I fucking going to do now? Like, I wanted to go. Like, and like, I'll probably get crowed off because I'm not, I ain't got my fucking dong for Afghan or anything. And I'm gutted. I'd love to have gone. It's a part of it's like a bit of a saving grace, because I look at the lads who've come back from it and they're all struggling from it. So I'm a bit like, well, thankfully I didn't go. But I do feel sorry for the lads who did go, because they're struggling now still. I met a couple of the lads from the battery a few weeks ago, because I did photos for their mess do. And they all said like they struggled. They've had like flare ups and that.
I always say, and I've said it lots of times on this podcast, I've done Iraq a couple of times. I was in the first Gulf War, second Gulf War, fucking Bosnia, Northern Ireland. And I am so glad I never went to Afghan. By then I was too old, too fat, unfit, and medically downgraded. So they'd have had to drag me out screaming, to be honest. But I'm so glad I didn't, because I have seen so many people come back from that who, like you say, have got issues.
Yeah.
I've also seen people come back from every tour or every, theatre of operation that we've served in recently. And again, issues. The main place that ever affected me was Bosnia. To some of the stuff was, and again, you don't notice it at the time. You think you just crack on. It's later on. It gets, that type of stuff. But I mean, you're going to be in. Yeah, I can see the disappointing. I can feel it almost as though
you get into training thinking, like we're going, and then to be told, it's not happening. And I think I joined about when Herrick 17 was kicking off, or Herrick 18, about that time. So it was only 2 more Herricks before it was shutting down.
That's a bit of a shit. That's really
shit, it is shit. But that's just life, and so you just crack on with it.
So what was it like working with the drones and that then? Because I've obviously never touched it. The closest I ever come to a drone was a fucking Phoenix. That's quite old, isn't it?
So we worked on Desert Hawk 3, which is the handheld one.
Oh, cool.
And obviously, this is where the change happened with 4.7 and 3.2. Is 4.7 started off as Desert Hawk, and then they decided to move over Watchkeeper, which is like the larger aircraft that takes off the runway. And so I think there was like a mixture of like some batteries were doing Desert Hawk and some batteries were doing Watchkeeper. So they just said, well, why don't we just put all the Watchkeeper in one regiment and all the Desert Hawk or UAV, handheld UAV in the other regiment. And so they done that. So 2-1 ended up going to 3-2 regiment. And then, I worked on Desert Hawk 3. It's pretty cool though. Like you start off as an operator, so like maintaining the drone itself, any repairs, battery changes, battery charging, and then like hand launching the drone. And then you basically just monitor the area, and then you've got the pilot and the commander on it's like a pelly case with a screen and a laptop to draw the flight plan up. And then you can basically like set at certain heights, and it basically just flies the flight plan itself until you tell it where to go and then bring it to land.
Sounds like you're playing with model aeroplanes.
Pretty much, yeah. Just a big team.
I mean, that sounds brilliant, but
it's interesting.
Jealous, mate. I'd have loved to have done shit like that.
It is cool, especially. Well, this is another thing that I only got experience on exercise. I didn't get to experience it on operations, but even on exercise, like in Kenya, like we're doing like the exercises out there, and you're watching like the enemy sit in an area, waiting to attack, and you're hovering above them, and they don't even notice you. It's pretty cool.
I mean, we look at Ukraine now.
Yeah,
the advancement of drone warfare.
So I was in when ISIS was all kicking off, and it was making us laugh because we're sitting here with the drone we've got, and all we can do was just do surveillance, and that was it. We couldn't do anything else. I think they looked to design it to drop grenades, but they didn't go ahead with it. And then we're sitting in the fucking crew room, and we're watching videos of ISIS dropping fucking grenades on people and like bombs on people from the drones. And we're like, how the fuck is ISIS like more advanced than us? Yeah, it's just
I wouldn't say it's advanced. It's just necessity.
Well, I think we had too many rules to our kit, whereas like ISIS could just crack on, do what they wanted. I mean,
it's all changing now, isn't it?
Yeah. You'd be surprised.
It'll be coming out. You'll be like, okay, no.
Well, it's fucking gnarly.
Yeah. I mean, it is. I've listened to a lot of people talk about it. The way the defence structure is changing in the near future and stuff like that. It is going to be the way for warfare. But
it's cheaper.
It's cheaper, but you're still going to need artillery.
Yeah.
As much as everyone fucking keeps saying, "Oh, we don't need any more tanks." You fucking do need tanks.
Yeah.
It's been proven.
Yeah.
It's been proven in Ukraine, even with the almost trench warfare that they're doing at the moment.
Yeah. I can't believe that's still going on. Really, like
it's not going to stop. It
won't. It's cover, isn't it? End of the day.
Well, I mean, and I've spoken to quite a few people on the podcast, and I've spoken to and listened to some quite high-ranking dudes, let's say, and the consensus of opinion is really that it's going to take another 10 years before, and I don't want to say this, but before Russia fucking wins, because unless we put boots on the ground, Ukraine can't defeat them, and that's just me, an old guy sat up in the northeast. It's his opinion and not not fucking fact. But it's just the way it points to it at the moment.
And it's that it's mental because now I'm thinking, like at my age now, I'm thinking that's fucking shit. I wouldn't want the lads going out doing, fighting that war. But if I was my 20-year-old again, I'd be like, I'd fucking go. Like, let's get involved. It's crazy how much your mentality changes as you grow older, isn't it? Like, and that's what I've started to realise, lately.
It's called maturity.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So, did you get involved in Estonia or any of them?
No, well, it just started, but I didn't get involved in that. Like, no, the lads. So the lads did the first one, and then my career's obviously it's very short. Did some exercises. I just had some fucking fun out of it. Really, I did. I'm a type.
You did P Company though, didn't you?
Yeah, I did P Company. Yeah, that was.
How did you find that?
Fucking yeah. So it took me 3 attempts. Yeah, I got 2 times injured. Call me a crap out if you want. Don't care. Third time passed it. Had a bit of a fucking nightmare with the Superman jump. Fuck knows why. So you do an introduction beforehand, and they get you to test out each. You do like the illusion jump. That was fine. And then you got like the Superman jump, which is basically you run across the plank. You run over the planks with like gaps, and then the final one is a massive leap into the net. Hook your arm, and that's it. I did it fucking 6 times because I kept bouncing off the net. And this was during the introduction, but I was just like, for fuck's sake. And and all the lads were like laughing at me, like, fuck hell, Fraser. And then when it comes to actual test, I don't know why, but I was having an absolute mind fuck because I was running to the end and I just fucking freeze and I couldn't fucking jump. And I was like, oh, fuck, this is going to, like, it's push. And then it was just putting pressure. And obviously the DS was like, if you don't fucking jump, you're going to fucking come off this course and all this shit. I was like, fucking hell, I don't need this now. Like, I've got this like this far. Don't fucking let it down. And the OC literally grabbed me and went, if you don't fucking jump, you're off this course. I was like, Rog. He said, I just want you to fucking jump. I was like, got ya. So I literally just fucking launched myself. And yeah, apart from that, thankfully, the other tests, I was fucking happy with, like, passed my million and all that stuff. And then, on parade, obviously, it was a bit fucking like, oh, fucking hell, I've passed. And they call out each number. You get a number on the parade. And basically, they're like, come up to me. And you're like, yeah, sir. And they'll pass, sir. And if you fail, you don't say, you just like, they go, fail. You don't say anything, you turn off the parade. But yeah, P Company is fucking, my course was 10 weeks, I think. So you do 4 weeks beat up with your unit or with the brigade, with a 16 brigade. And then you do, I think it was another 3 weeks beat up at Catterick. And then it's 3 weeks like P Company. So like you do all your like Goodwood races, land and nod. The 4 Horsemen, all that shit. But like and it's just all tabbing. It's just beast on your legs. Like it's absolute smashing. You've got your Bergen and rifle, and you're just going for it. And any weather, you're fucking going. T-shirt, trousers, go. Yeah, it's arduous for a fucking reason. And I'm glad I passed it. Like,
so did you get to do any jumps, or did you not get into that?
Yeah. So did my jumps course, I think a year later, down at Bryce. And that was good. It was run by the RAF, so it's going to be good.
You did like lots of people have come on and said that. They said, go and do your jumps.
Yeah, fucking right.
It's like another world.
Yeah, fuck it is. So you do 1.5 week ground training, doing all your PLFs and you're steering the canopy and then like any entanglement stuff. But you're jumping at a fucking 1,000 feet. There's not much time to get out of fucking entanglement, so you just fucking pray for it. And then you do your first jump in a Skyvan, which is fucking rickety fucking thing, and it's fucking loud. And bearing in mind, I've never done a parachute jump in my fucking life, right? So, and I've had the pressure of thinking I'm gonna fucking freeze at the door because of what happened on P Company with the Superman jump. So I've got that pressure of like, I need to fucking jump. And they told us to stand up. We fucking hooked on, and we were like, right, we're ready to go. And then fucking stepping forward. I just went fucking out. I didn't get a decent position. I just fucking chucked myself out, closed my eyes. And the next thing, I looked up, my canopy's open. I was like, this is fucking mega. I fell in love with it. I absolutely fell in love with it. and it sort of like conquered my fear of like jumping or like any heights. So, yeah, and I landed on the ground, fucking tried to reach the ground, done my leg in. I was like, yeah, fucking. And the RAF instructor come out, was like, how are you? How did you find it? I was like, fucking loved it. He's like, yeah, sound. Yeah, and then we did three sky vans or four sky van jumps, and then we went on to the Herc, and that's just another that was fucking brilliant. That was immense.
I mean, I bet it's very different because of the slipstream and
yeah. Oh, geez, I remember.
It's quite brutal.
Yeah, I remember my first jump being all a blur, not remembering it, and then when it comes to jumping out of the Herc, I remember jumping out of the doorway, and all I could see was like ground because I was getting like dragged outside, and then flipped, see sky, and then ground again, and it was fucking epic jump, really good jump. And then you do that at night time as well, like about 800 feet, and that's even better.
I can't see the fucking point of jumping out of the old saying, a perfectly serviceable plane.
Well, yeah, this is it. Most of the paratrooper lads, like the para-reg lads, and they're like, fuck that, I hate fucking jumping. But you're part of the parachute regiment, like you've got to fucking enjoy it, surely.
No, honestly, I've had a few on here, and they've like literally said like, nah.
Well, I've got
I'm not keen on it.
Yeah, well, it's made me have a fucking. So, I did some more jumps out in America, jump out of Chinooks and all that stuff. That was fucking good fun. That was for Leap Fest. Just jumping with like Americans, Germans, like the Dutch, Italians.
I mean, I'm just finished jumping out of a Chinook because of the downdraft.
Honestly, it doesn't make that much of a difference. It was fucking.
Really?
Yeah.
I would expect you to step out and just go. Poof.
No, literally, I cheekily put a fucking GoPro to my boot before the jump and jumped. And I got video footage of me coming out and fucking, filmed it. And you come out like as you would on a Herc, nice slipstream. It's quite smooth. Yeah, it's a good jump.
Okay, hell. Honestly, I thought you'd have just like fucking come out and then, fuck me, don't jump up.
yeah.
That could be naughty.
No, it's not like I'm gonna hit the blades, is it? I'm short enough as it is. Yeah.
Couldn't remember all my hair's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I had visions of it just like, I don't know, like I said, downdraft. Like,
well, this is it. I thought the canopy would like catch on to the propellers or something, but no, miles away.
I like Chinooks anyway.
Yeah.
Not had that much experience with them. I had some, I've been in them a few times watching people throw up, and we got stuck in. We were in Bosnia in '95, and at the time, 19 Regiment was like the air mobile.
Yeah.
What we used to call the AMF, Mobile Force. They were the ones who were on like fucking 24 hours notice to move type of thing as a brigade. And we were going from up near Sarajevo back to Split, and they were all like, all the guys who were from 19 regiments who were crashing through each other, all going, "Oh, you're not going to enjoy this. There'll be fucking streets. You're going to be thrown up all over the place." Oh yeah, all right. That. And we all climbed on, took off, and he's fucking bombing all over the place. And there was like four of us who just sat there going, "That's all right, isn't it?" Looking at all these 19 red lads are all lining up with bags and stuff. I thought you used to enjoy it. I think we did this all the time. So you've enjoyed your time in the army. You've enjoyed the piss ups, had a good laugh. When I joined, there was fuck all happening. We were lucky if we got a Northern Ireland tour. Things changed later on. Don't get me wrong, but I did see a lot of guys come and go then because it was just mundane.
Yeah,
sweeping the garages, doing exercise, getting pissed, sweeping the garages, sweeping more garages, in areas, and then fucking going on a piss, and it was just. It wasn't what I think they envisaged. Is that what happened with you?
Yeah. So with the army, obviously, Afghan stop instead of looking to transition back to conventional warfare stuff. Obviously, it's not a difference to me, but to the lads who've been fighting Afghan, they're like questioning it quite a lot. Been like, why the fuck are we doing this when we've just been, out there? But to me, it was. I clocked onto it quite quickly as like the exercises wasn't. I didn't feel like the exercises were productive. Like there would be a lot of sitting around. On training. During training, the exercises you're constantly doing stuff, constantly learning stuff, which I quite enjoyed. And then come to exercises where you're sitting there on radio stag or something like that, and you're just like, fucking hell, and you're freezing your tits off, and you're just like, I'd rather be back at home.
Yeah.
And you just like, yeah, some of the exercise, don't get me wrong, like the battery exercises were fucking good because they make sure we actually like learn stuff. And half the time it was either like fibula or free WAF exercises. So, you know, we're actually learning soldiering skills, which we fucking love really. And it made us better soldiers. Whereas like the brigade exercises was just a lot of sitting around doing fuck all. Just eating ration packs, shit like that. It's
Been there, done that.
yeah, literally. But
I mean, I can't even really compare it. So I mean, the exercises that we used to go on in Germany in the 80s, the exercises used to be fucking massive. You know,
yeah,
sometimes the last 6-7 weeks. You know, the FTX ones and stuff like that, and they were huge. You know, armored columns moving across Germany almost. In fact, it was. We'd do village deployment. We'd just pull up in villages. You know, the people who lived there, they had no choice. You know, all of a sudden there's a gun battery in the middle of their little village, and they're like, "Oh, hello," you know, and they were fine with it.
yeah.
You know, they'd come out and bring you sandwiches and stuff like that.
I know, yeah,
Crazy.
never experienced that.
We had we pulled up in a swamp position once, and we basically just outside this like kind of driveway. And our number one cheeky bugger he was talking to the old guy who owned the place, and he was like, "Is there any chance of like getting a wash and a shave and that?" I mean, been out for about 3 weeks. We only have having a shower in this block's house, all going through one at a time. You know, he was like, "Yeah, come in." Brought us fucking sandwiches out, sausages and all sorts. You know, and they were great. It was fantastic. And then, like I say, later on, you get bored. You know, it is. And I've seen a lot of guys just, nah, that's it. Done me 5 years, 6 years, or whatever, and they get out. Like, you know, they don't go back. Some do. Some go back and join later on. You know, rejoin and stuff like that. So I mean, you've took that decision now to leave. How was that last 12 months for you?
Well, so I just had my daughter, and I was just like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna sign off." And the sergeant was like, "No, don't do that. Have a think about it. You know, you've just had a kid, all that stuff." And then a posting come up, or someone told me about a posting come up from Neverhaven, the skydive centre. So the adventure training team. So just being one of the junior staff for that, I was like, that sounds a bit of me. And I tried to give skydiving a go beforehand anyway. So I was like, yeah, perfect. I managed to get the posting, got posted to Nevers. And yeah, that was fucking good. That was really good. Like, basically, you're junior staff, and then you're working with the civilian staff. Well, some are civilian, some are military, but all of them are like, you know, ex-forces. You know, they've got all background to it, and they're basically instructing the people who come up to do like the adventure training weeks. Basically, not skydiving, but parachuting. Like, it'll start off static line parachuting, and they just build up the course. So basically, we're just there to help teach the students how to pack a parachute and just assist the instructors just to run the courses well each week. So that was really good. I really enjoyed that posting. That was fucking good. I enjoyed that much there. Did a couple of months and decided to sign off. So every morning you get a brief by the sergeant major, well, you get briefed by the instructors about the day and all this stuff. And Sergeant Major bowls in, and he just starts kicking off about the bins. At this time, I was about 26, and I was sitting there, and I was just like, "Why the fuck am I dealing with this shit?" Like, and he won't point at any. He was just like saying in general, like, bins and shit state, all this shit, you know, the general stuff. I was just like, "Fuck this." I went on the computer and I started doing stuff. And one of the lads came in, was like, "Fraser, what are you doing?" And I was just like, "Fucking sign off." He's like, "Mate, you need an interview before that." I was like, "Watch me." I just fucking signed off. Went up to the sergeant's office. I was like, "Yeah, I've signed off." And he's like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've signed off." He's like, "Fuck's sake, mate." He's like, "You need to go back to your unit and like speak to your sergeant major." I was like, "Yeah, understood." I was like, I'm fucking done. Went down to my sergeant major, my BSM, and he's just like, "Hey, I didn't tell you to come back. Stay up there." So I spent my whole fucking year my final year at Nevers, which is fucking lucky.
Yeah,
Very lucky.
Say, yeah. So how did how was the resettlement process for you? I suppose that would have been hard because you're not with the regiment. Also,
no, it was all right.
A
like,
good move because you weren't with the regiment.
Well, yeah, this is it. Like, I wasn't getting fucked around. I still, you know, I weren't being a dick about saying I've signed off, I'm not going to do fucking anything. I still chipped in to help the lads with the training and that, because I did enjoy the skydive, but I knew it wasn't a permanent thing. If it was a permanent role, I would have loved it. But I knew it wasn't permanent, so I was just like, I won't burn a bridge with these boys because they're fucking good lads, and they're fucking gleaming lads. And yeah, I just made the fucking most of it. Like, and with resettlement, I did a rookie state of not bothering too much with it. I found a job for a fire and security engineer job. I thought, nice little trade, that'd be right. And they fucking send me off. They recruited me on, and I was hoping to get like a load of work around the local area. I was on minimum wage, and I got in. So when I left the army, I started working for them, and they started sending me down to London every fucking day. And I was up fucking stupid o'clock trying to get down to London for like 9 o'clock central, so like round Islington way and that, to do work, then get back home. So I was like getting up, leaving about 5, probably 4 in the morning, and I'm not back home until 8 at night on minimum wage, driving this shit van. I was just like, what the fuck? So I did a couple of months of that, and I was just like, I just threw the keys back at the boss, went, this is the piss take, see you later. So
Don't blame you.
yeah, so I had a rough start with Civvy Street, I'm not gonna lie. Because it's daunting. You go from being part of this club with a load of lads who you live with together in the block, and you know, and one night one of the lads might knock on your door, go, do you fancy going for like a beer or go for food somewhere? So you're always going out socialising with the boys, to then go and being in a world on your own, because you end up in a place where none of your schoolmates are in that area, and you're stuck on your own, and you don't know what to do, because they don't really teach you much. They don't warn you much about Civvy Street, really. And like, I think it's hard. Like, I think they do try and support you as much as possible while you're in, but once you're out, you're on your own.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any answer to that though, really, because I mean, like,
it's tricky.
Tesco's for 22 years, and then you left. You wouldn't expect Tesco's to run after
you.
But
on
the other hand, being in the military is a very different fucking type of job. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, you do need support.
This is it.
Even if it's minimal.
Yeah, you live and breathe like army for years, and you're stuck in this, and there's a routine with it, and everything's sort of done for you. Like, you got a medical appointment, go to that. Dental appointment, go for that. You know, you got everything sorted for you. You got a place to have food. You got a place to sleep. You know, it's all there for you. To then go on Civvy Street, where it's like, you got to find that for your fucking self. Good luck. I've
had guys come on a podcast who didn't even know how to book dental appointments when they left the army.
This is it. Yeah,
they didn't know how to register. You know, they thought it was all just done for you. You know, and you think, I've been out so long now, and I'm that much older. You think, really, you thought that? But yeah, because you like. I remember my resettlement was. I wouldn't say it was shit, but you didn't learn enough. I didn't learn anything about housing, and
yes.
You know, and I suppose by my age when I left, I was getting on along in the tooth and that, and you're supposed to know all that stuff anyway. Even no, it's still a big shock for me. I don't get me wrong. After 27 years, I fucking ran away from the army. I was gone out the gate before I could swing shut. But within a couple of years, I was missing it. It took me a couple of years. It took me a while to realise that I'm missing somebody, and it took me a lot longer to realise what it was. And it was the camaraderie, it was the lifestyle, and everything like that, and everything.
Everyone says that. Everyone says it's the lads. You miss the lads. The lads get you through a lot of shit, and it's the banter that gets thrown around. It's like it is good. It is good brotherhood. But the job itself.
Civvy Street's got the advantage, like what you just said there. You threw the keys at the boss and went, fuck off.
Yeah, literally.
Got
to wait a year. Oh, cheers. Yeah. So there is that. It comes in different waves, really. I say, I'll never say negative things about the army, because it's helped me get me to where I am now. Like, it's helped me give now, and I'll explain. Yeah, I'll explain like later as well. Like, my mindset now is I think because of it won't put me I wouldn't be able to run my photography business and do my fire service job at the same time if I was, you know, a civvy, like, you know, as if I didn't join the army.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It gives you discipline and thought, and
it gives you a process. You think of a process and what needs to be done, and make sure you've done it properly. And if there's anything else, so yeah, I've always got respect for, you know, the army.
You told me that you'd moved into being, you know, you were trained to be a paramedic, and you did that for a few years.
Yeah, so this is it. So obviously after the fire security engineer job, I then went in to do some window cleaning, and I had a phone call, and I loved the window cleaning. I thought it was a good little job. You know, started at fucking 8, finished at 3, went home. Nice little wage. It was a fucking easy job. And, you know, and the boss was talking to me. He's like, yeah, we can build up and expand if you want to. I was like, fucking, I'm keen. And I got a phone call from the careers advisor who does like resettlement for the army and that. And she's like, how are you getting on? I was like, yeah, just window cleaning. She's like, why are you window cleaning? Like, yeah, like, why are you doing that? I was like, I quite enjoy it. It's fucking, I'm outdoors. I'm doing, you know, cleaning some windows and going home. Like, I finish at 3 every day. Like, I can't complain. And she's like, have you got any other job interviews? And one was with Saab, like the test kit, and the other was with the ambulance service, but just as patient transport service. And she's like, go for the interviews and let me know how you go. My first interview was with the ambulance service for the patient transport service. Sat there, I was just like, yeah, just ex-army, and told them, and they loved it, and they're like, and they offered me a job there and then. I was like, oh fuck. So I wasn't expecting that. So I was just like, yeah, I'll take it. You know, it's a bit more security job than window cleaning. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, and then from there, I did 6 months patient transport service, and it was good. It was good, like foundation to. It got you to think for yourself. It got you, like, it made you think for yourself in situations. It got you to speak to people in like a really nice manner, and like, you know, and it just got you to like approach people you don't know, and build up a rapport really quickly to then build up their trust to then help them get them home from hospital or take them to hospital. So, you know, even though patient transport service, people think, oh, it's just a taxi service. It is a good job to build up your foundation for like people skills, I think, really. Yeah, so I did 6 months of that. Standard me, I was like, I got bored. And then I was like, go for front line. So applied for front line, breezed that because of my, you know, history, past careers, and then my experience already with patient handling. So the assessment that was like, yeah, happy with that.
And you said earlier you wanted to be a medic.
Well, this is it. And I've always enjoyed helping people. And then, yeah, I started my station, and fucking hell, baptism by fire. So when you first start, so I wasn't a paramedic, I was an ECA, so emergency care assistant. Basically, you're assisting the paramedic on each job. You're basically doing the driving, you share the driving, and then when the paramedic's happy, you can share out the jobs and then do like the assessments yourself. So when I first started, I was doing third manning with paramedic and ECA. First couple of jobs, yeah, they were fucking interesting. Yeah, it was a bit of fucking eye-opener. And the paramedic's like, yeah, just follow us. When I'm happy, I'll just let you drive, and so on and so forth. Got to the third job, and the paramedic's like, do you want to drive now? I was like, yeah, cool, crack on. So I got in the driver's seat, and in the cab, in the middle of the cab's like a screen that tells you all your jobs, details of the patient, and what comes through for like your next 999 call. So I started driving off. That goes off. No, the screen goes off. And it said Cat 1, cardiac arrest, CPR in progress, Basingstoke train station. I was like, first day, and I'm fucking driving. So bombed it all the way from Andover to Basingstoke. Got to the train station. Paramedic was just like, right, we're going to get kitted up. And this was during COVID time. So obviously that was carnage as it is, but we all had to wear like Tyvek suits, like all these like white suits, masks, goggles to protect ourselves. So the paramedic's like, we're going to get kit up. Just park the van. Once you're ready, get kitted up and meet us on the platform. I was like, yeah, sound. Got kitted up, ran to the platform, and it was platform 2. and it was a 55-year-old gentleman on the floor, and they were doing compressions, and it was just one of those moments where it's all new. You know, when you just get tunnel vision and you just see the fucking patient on the floor, and the paramedic's like, "Can you get on his chest?" Start doing compressions. I was just like, "Okay, fucking," and I just got into it. I just followed the orders and just got straight into it. And that was the first time I've ever seen a dead body. Like, and it's a weird sensation because you're expecting this person to move, yelp, and just or do something, just push you off. But he weren't. He was just, eyes wide open, purple color, and it was a fucking surreal moment. And it was all blur. I didn't know what was going on around me. I just knew, like, I was doing compressions on this person's chest, and I was just looking at him like, what the fuck? Yeah, and that was my first, like, experience into medical world, really.
I mean, fucking hell, yeah.
And the thing is,
fire, yeah.
fucking typically every time I get a train from London and back, it always goes past, or it always stops at platform 2. So I'm just like, and there's been times where I've sat at the bench where it's fucking happened. I'm just like, so there's a memory with that platform for me. So it's fucking
hell. I mean, I suppose that's one of the things of being, ambulance crew. You never, like you say, you've got a screen that comes up and gives you your next shout or your next job. You never know what it's going to be, and it could be fucking anything.
No.
From mental health cases to fucking.
Oh, fucking. Also, I've only done 3 years with them, and it's not much compared to some people that what they do. But in those 3 years, I've done fucking easily 25 cardiac arrests. Like, yeah, it's fucking. You do. So my third, this one sticks with me quite a lot. So my third arrest, we started in the morning, me and Lou, and we just set up the truck, signed on, and the job come through. And it was like normal road speed blue, breathing diffs. And me and Lou looked at each other and went, breathing diffs? Shouldn't that be like a Cat 1 or like Cat 1 red? And we were like, oh, we'll go to it anyway. So normal road speed blue is basically like you don't put in your blue lights, you just take a nice journey down. Next thing we get, about 5 minutes later, we got a message going, HEMS is on its way. And we're like, why the fuck's HEMS on its way on a normal road speed blue? So we contact control. And we're like, any reason why HEMS is on its way? We're not too sure. Just go down on blues and we'll let you know.
HEMS being?
The helicopter. Helimed. Bomb burst it down to the patient's location. And as driving, watching the helicopter, we've seen the helicopter in the air. And we're like, oh, fuck, this is a big job. Got to the patient's location, parked up, and there was already a co-responder at the scene. The car was there. As we parked up, the helicopter's coming in to land. We grab all our kit, fucking run in, and went upstairs. And the co-responder's doing compression on his... well, hold on. This 23-year-old girl.
It's all right, mate.
Oh, it's been a while.
Hey.
Yeah. This 23-year-old girl, but she didn't look 23. She's like a lot younger, and I hate saying it, but it's the only way I can describe her. She looked like something out like Auschwitz. She was like so malnourished. Like she was just a bag, like a bag of bones. Like you could see every bone in her body. So I got onto her chest, started doing compressions, and I just couldn't stop looking at her. Like it was just, it's a horrible image. And the protocol then was, which I didn't know at the time, was you do CPR for 20 minutes. If there's no life, then we call it. Bearing in mind, there was a consultant and a paramedic from the helicopter that joined us, and they were running the resus. During the resus, what I didn't realise is the consultant is Charles Deacon, which he's the one who's written the whole policy on cardiac arrest. The perfect person is him. He's the fucking the dog behind the knowledge of resus, which I didn't know at the time. So I was just getting told to constantly do compressions, and this went on for a fucking hour. And it got to a point where the girl's chest was like drooping because I was just constantly pressing on her. And, I was just, in my head, I was like, why the fuck are we still going? Like, yeah. And after that job, I just fucking balled out. I was like, what the fuck have I got myself into? And the TL was like, "It's all right, mate. Like, I'll report this up, and I'll be in contact with you like later on." Obviously, Lou was a bit like traumatized because even she wasn't expecting what to see, because you usually get on the screen, it tells you like what we're turning up to. So to turn up to something like that, which was completely different to what was on the screen, there was no pre-warning. Yeah, I didn't struggle too long with that job, but the TL and the clinical mentor who like are part of the team, so you're in a team, they manage it. They're pretty good. They got in contact with Charles Deacon and arranged like a video call to explain like the whole job, just to get a bit more clarification. And he was saying the reason why he carried it on for an hour was because of the parents. It was just to help the parents. He knew it wasn't suffice. It wasn't going to be effective for the daughter, but he wanted to show that we was doing something towards the parents. Which then I was like, okay, that's fair enough. And like the reason the little girl or the girl passed away was SUDEP, which is sudden unexpected death to epilepsy.
Yeah. I mean, I know people who have passed to sudden death, but I mean, the way I thought it was called like sudden death syndrome. There's no apparent reason. Just die.
Literally,
no explanation, no reason. Fucking wow. And that's what I mean in that job. I know a few guys who are paramedics. One of my ex-BCs, when he was a colonel, he was working as an ambulance guy in Wiltshire.
Oh, nice.
He's in charge of the ambulances now, for Wiltshire. But fucking hell, it's not something I would want to get involved in, really.
It's honestly, I'd definitely say it's a fucking tough job. I'd say it's tougher than the army, just more mentally tougher than the army. It's not always doom and gloom. Like there's some jobs you turn up to and you're like, what the fuck? So I'll try and lighten things up, because it's not always, the job isn't that bad, because the crew you work with they get you through it. The people you work with always get through.
I can imagine, because I mean, we have a dark sense of humour being military.
Yeah.
My cousin's an undertaker. They've got the darkest fucking sense of humour I've ever met.
I know some undertakers as well. Yeah,
they're evil. Right?
Yeah.
But imagine again the job you're doing now and being working paramedics. It's going to be a fucking evil sense of humour.
Yeah, honestly, it is savage. And yeah, going back into like the station, like crew room, fucking hell, the jokes that get thrown about, and you're just like, it's nice because you get to forget about the shit times.
That's what the gallows humour's for. It's there. We dealt with it that way. You deal with it this way.
Is that 100%? But yeah, it's not always. So one job, and this was on my second day. So obviously, just dealt with a cardiac arrest the day before. Turn up to shift again. Work with another crew. Third man in. Job comes in. There's major blood loss. We're like, fuck's this? Description comes through. Man cut from penis. We're like, what the fuck? Yeah, right. So we turned up to a job. The bloke's like met us at the front of the hotel. Got in. And he's like, and he started sitting there explaining the story. We're like, what's happened then? And we're like, and he goes, so my mates have gone to get their penis circumcised professionally. It cost them, they said that he got them privately done. It cost them like 500 quid. He didn't want to spend it 500 quid, so he decided to do it himself. So what he done, he bought the clamp, scalpel, and super glue off Amazon. He clamped his old boy, numbing cream, got the scalpel, slit it, glued it, but he didn't wait for glue to dry. So he just released the clamp. Obviously, the pressure's fucking come back through, and then it burst. He panicked, so he called 999. Oh my god, the scenes! He's just like, what the fuck? Just to save him 500 quid. Honestly, when I turned out to a job,
I'm thinking super glue. What?
But they used it in World War One, didn't they?
Yeah, Vietnam War was designed for.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not going to sit there and glue the fucking knob. I don't.
You need stitches. You do need stitches, not some glue. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
So there's stories like that. You're just like, what the fuck? I know crew that turned up to a bloke who cut his rectum on a glass jar. I'm not going to say how he done it, but
Yeah,
they
but I mean, yeah, you know, you see the old X-rays that are
yeah,
put on the internet and stuff like that. You know, Barbie dolls and
yeah, yeah.
let's not go
So
down that route. But a glass jar,
and it's, yeah,
I
and he
think,
slipped on it in the bathroom apparently.
yeah, you know, I sat on it, yeah, type thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what
So
made you move from that into being a firefighter then?
well, this is yeah. So I was debating whether to go for my paramedics, and I like to see how other people getting on with it all. And at the time, they released a so you're still part of like the ambulance service, but you're it's like they offering a degree course for like 2 years. So you become like a student paramedic for SCAS, and then you get your qualification after 2 years. So they just brought that out, and I was watching people do it, and I was going to go for it. I was pretty keen to go for it. I was doing pretty well as an ECA, you know, taking control of the jobs myself. And it got to the point where paramedics were just like happy to like let me just go with it, and any problems they'll just jump in. You know, most of the paramedics were confident with my skill, and I was like, you know, really going for it. And then at one point, I was like looking at the people going through the course. I was just like, they're getting fucked around too much. Like for a student paramedic, they've got to do a whole, like, you know, all their shifts plus the studying, but they've also got to try and cover set shifts at different stations. They're not set to a station, so they could be sent to fucking Bracknell when they live in Andover, or they got to go to Portsmouth if they live in like fucking Southampton. So all that time traveling, you know, could be used wisely. It's just unfortunate. It put me off because it was a lot of time and effort put into a fucking degree when really, and the trust does not care about it. Like the workforce on the front line is fucking blinding. The people that, you know, look after the public, you know, are next to none. And you'd think the trust would take care of the work people, and then the workforce would look after the trust. So
Well, that's the NHS for you. It's too fucking big and too bureaucratic. You know, I know a fair few of my mates work in the NHS now, and I know one of them, and I won't say his name, but he'll know who he is. He always does. He likened starting at the NHS like being in the military. He said it's almost like a rank structure and this, that, and the other. You know, and there's timings and this, and he goes, that's why I've liked it, because I've got that familiarity of being in the NHS. He goes, but there's so much fucking, let's call it dead weight. There's lots of people who are there who don't need to be there. You know, and I've spoken to guys who are really high, and they say the same thing.
yeah, the people that are making the judgments for the people in the front line have never been on the front line. I've been in contact with a few lads still, and they're saying like it's got even worse. Like we only get, because we do 10-hour shifts, we only get half-hour meal break, which is and usually we're covering 2 hour, like 200 miles a day, going from like Andover to Bracknell to Reading, all over the shop to cover jobs. And
that's
try
quite
and do
a
it.
like that.
Yeah, it's massive. You could end up in Oxford sometimes from Andover.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's savage, and yeah, it's fucking. But that's what took a toll on me. Like, I enjoy I didn't realize, but I enjoy my sleep. I fucking love my sleep. So trying to do night shifts, I was fucking getting battered, and I was becoming a fucking absolute arsehole from it. And yeah, so I went through my last year. I was like, I was like contemplating whether to go for the paramedics. I then went for a relationship split up with my daughter's mother. Going through that, and it was pretty fucking toxic. Trying to deal with all that shit with, you know, child maintenance, all that stuff, and where to live and all that shit. That's, you know, standard stuff. And what I didn't realize, it was causing severe anxiety with me, and this led to me I'm not proud of it, but it's a thing in, like, it's a chapter in my life where it's actually like helped me out. Like it changed me. So basically, I tried to kill myself. Yeah.
You said something there. You said, you know, I'm not proud of it. Well, there's nothing to be ashamed of either.
No, I know. I know
There
it's not.
fucking isn't, mate. Honestly, it isn't. There's,
Yeah.
you know, there's lots of people out there who've thought like that. I fucking thought like that.
Yeah.
On more than one occasion.
But the thing is, like, I'm in a job where I'm there to care for people, and it makes me laugh because when I was in the ambulance service, before I did what I did, I always questioned, like, why the fuck are people trying to kill themselves? Like, I just could not understand it. I was happy to like speak to people and try and open up their mind a bit, but in my head I was like, why are they fucking doing it? And I could not understand until I got myself in that position. I just fully understand it. It's a fucking dark place. It is such a dark place, and your mind, it's unreal that your own mind could fucking kill you. And during my relationship split up, I used to sit at home on my own. I didn't really have mates around me. I had my work mates, but when it come to me being off duty, I'd sit at home. And what I didn't realize, the symptoms of anxiety. So I'd be sitting there and my fucking heart going, chest going, head be pounding, ears would be ringing, and I just could not know why. I was just like, what the fuck is going on? So I did my episode poorly, just took a load of tablets, and I fucking praised the bloke, my mate Liam. I said a goodbye message to him, and he literally dropped everything. This was about 1 a.m. He come straight over to mine, and he basically called an ambulance for me. And yeah, I honestly owe my life to him. He's a fucking legend. He's a paramedic now, and he's one of the veterans on my project. So yeah, he's a fucking top bloke, and I owe everything to him, because without him, I think I would have been in a fucking bad way. But yeah, after that episode, I was just like, I've got to get a fucking grip. My dad's mate, who's former Marine, he sat me down, spoke to me, and he said he went through something similar, and obviously he was battling. At the same time he was like battling cancers and shit. And he said the best thing to do for you is every time you feel like the effects of anxiety, go and do 20 minutes of phys. So, and literally every time, and it literally was every time anxiety kicked in for me, I went out and did press ups, pull ups, and sit ups, and that lasted me 20 minutes. And I felt pumped afterward, and I felt great. And honestly, it fucking helped me so much.
So
just doing that,
the dopamine hits,
literally that, yeah. But this is also where photography crept in, because I was like, I need a fucking passion. I need something to do, because I'm sitting at home doing nothing, watching TV. It's a fucking killer. Social media, I think a video come up, and I seen someone doing like photography. Some photos come up. I was like, that's fucking cool. So I bought a camera and gave it a go. And the first time I took the camera out, I just fell in love with it, because I got that one photo. All it took is that one photo, and I was just like, it was a fucking buzz. It was a weird buzz. It was just like, I felt like a skydive again, because it's like, fucking hell, this is fucking amazing. So I set myself a goal with this is, obviously my dad's mate said, do the 20-minute, like, if you got anxiety. What I'd done was, instead of sitting there watching TV every evening, I'd set myself an hour to either learn something about photography, either going out with the camera, learning about editing, or just watching a YouTube video and just understanding the camera. Honestly, and that just what built up my passion towards photography. And everyone says, "Oh, it's just taking a picture." There's so much more to taking a. There's so much more to taking a picture, and I think just from there, like I started off just doing like landscape stuff, just practicing doing photos with my daughter on the outdoors and stuff, and just building up my skill set. And everywhere I go now, I've got a fucking camera with me. And that's how that's how I grew my passion for photography. And it's weird because I've always enjoyed taking photos on my phone. Like during my army, like I've got, I was always like yourself. I was always the one doing photos for everyone. And I when I was in the army, I was looking at transferring to the army photographers and doing that course.
I'll see, lads, innit?
Yeah. And I was looking at that. But the one thing that put me off, I phoned up, I was like, yeah, I'm really keen. Like, okay, cool, do us a portfolio and we'll be in contact. I was like, what the fuck's a portfolio? I was like, fuck that, I ain't doing it. It's just like, I was like,
what, do some work?
Yeah, exactly. I was just like, for fuck. And think about it now, I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. So, I think I would have done well if I actually went for it, because I was really interested in going for it. But that's just fucking life again, isn't it?
Yeah. So, I mean, you've moved on to you went from paramedic to fire service. I mean, it's not that too far a jump, is it? Or
No, well,
I suppose to a layman like me, it's an emergency service.
yeah.
You know, there's is there crossover? I suppose there is really.
With the medical side, so that's where I'm
Yeah.
grateful for the ambulance service because it's helped me like when it comes to like the medical stuff. It's really helped, like, yeah, and it's also helped me with talking to people, approaching people, and finding out stuff.
So what's the training like for being a firefighter?
Yes, do you know what? It's fucking nails. It was fucking. It's brutal.
I've heard that, like, to be honest.
I wasn't expecting it. I thought it'd be like one of these, like, yeah, you're in. You know, there's a standard, but if you don't meet the standard, you're still going through. But people getting back trooped. So we started with 10. We had 2 people back trooped onto our course. So we carried on with 12. You then you do like your introductions, talk about all the stuff, all the policies and that, and then you come up to do your pumps and ladders, which is 2 week. Basically, it's just bowling out hose, putting up ladders, you know, and just setting up on the fire ground as you would. So like setting, like putting in the hydrant, all that stuff. You do that for 2 weeks, rain or shine. It's fucking brutal. It can be. I think we had snow for a few days on ours, and it's fucking savage. And then you're piss wrapped through because you're sweating, and it's rain, and you're sogging. And again, go on to. If you pass that, you get a final assessment for pumps and ladders. If you pass that, you then go on to BA, and that's fucking intense because even though you're in a small outbuilding, they can change the walls and put different furniture in. You wear a full BA set, helmet, all your kit, but you've got an obscuration mask, so you can't see shit. But then you go into like the room which is pitch black, and you're literally working off like feel. You're using the back of your hands, you're sweeping your legs and stamping to check the stability of the floor. You then got different procedures for stairs, doors. So you got to know it all, and you got to be like shit hot in it, and you got to each day you got to show improvement. Otherwise, they'll basically like put a red flag and like concern about you. Obviously, same again at the end of the 2 weeks, you get a final assessment, and you got to you got to go in to find a casualty, and obviously come out with a casualty in a safe and the same route you come on, like in a safe manner, so you can't get lost. You got to stick to the same. You got to stick to the wall that you've been briefed on. So there's a lot to it, and it's hard work because you're carrying like a fucking 50k dummy, but then it's also mental because you've got to remember what route you took in, and you got to make sure you've counted your doors. You've got a landmark, so if you've gone through a doorway, check for an object, so like a light switch or something that's near the door to go, okay, yeah, light switch on the left. That's my mark for this door. There's so much to think about, and then you pass. Once you've done your assessment for that, you pass that, you go on to real fire training, and that's it. It starts becoming a bit more relaxed. It's still a bit intense because you're going in to attack real fire. Obviously, typical, unfortunately, with London because of the ULEZ stuff and all that bollocks. The fires aren't massive, so it's like small bin fires in the corner of the room, but like the smoke's quite thick. So basically, but you go in and you learn about, using the control of the branch, using pulse and spray techniques to put out the fire, to grab your casualty, to then retreat back. And then you go into RTC. That's good fun, just cutting up cars. And then...
I like all that.
Yeah, it is. It's just smashing up shit. And then IEC, which I breeze because of my past. So it's basically like IEC's first aid, all your medical stuff, and then the last week's like assessment week, so you get assessed on everything really. And then you find out your station, you get paraded, get handed a letter, get given your like LFB badge, and then you get given a letter what station you're going to.
And then get a choice in that, or
no, it's literally you can put a preference of, on the application when you first sign up. You say like, oh, I need to be stationed in this area because of so and so. But yeah, before they used to send blokes left, right, and centre, so you could be living west and end up in like East London. to start with, but I think because of the Equality Act and all that stuff, they've changed it.
So what was your first shout like?
That was all right. That wasn't too bad. The first shouts and that were fine. I had like, rubbish fires and all that stuff. When did I join? Joined May. Yeah, I joined in May. So summertime, the busy season. I'm based in Hounslow area, so it's fairly busy, with all sorts of shit. We had got called. With the job, you can like jump on the trucks early to get people away from work, and so I got someone away to go home early. Got on the truck and got called to shout in Wimbledon for a weed farm, and fucking hell. So we turned up. The fire was in the
people stood outside giving it.
Yeah, literally, and I was like dealing with the fire. The fire was in the basement, so they've cut like a hole that goes into the basement. I was just fighting the fire in from that way. And then the governor, we call him governor, our officers, we call him governor because it's an old London term. So the governor was like, Fraser, do you want to have a wear? And it's my first wear. I was like, fucking right, I do. He says, all right, get your set on, get ready to go. So got the set on, went into the building, and literally from ground floor up, everything was full of weed flowers. I'm only 5'7", not massive, but the plant was towering me, and I was like, and it was fucking everywhere. It was in the basement. It was every floor, apart from the top floor where the occupants were. It was just full of fucking weed. I was like, what the fuck?
Wow.
Fucking... And
someone was going to be in a shit for that fire.
Wow, this building was next to a restaurant. It was on the high street of Wimbledon, and the restaurant next door didn't know why the electricity bill was fucking crazily high. And they were sapping the energy out of the restaurant, and and it was going on for a year and a half, and no one knew. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I mean, again, thinking of stuff like that, it's so alien to my life that, I would, if I walked past the weed house, I'd never know unless it was the smell of it.
Yeah.
And I work in North Shields, and to be honest, that's all you smell around North Shields. It's just fucking weed. It's fucking, yeah, it's not nice. I mean, if we move on to the photography is, you're saying that's become your passion and also possibly your savior. Without trying to be over dramatic with it. For me, it was the podcast, and you touched on something there about how your mind just takes over and fools you and says it's we always say it's a permanent solution to a temporary situation, which it is. And we're getting better at talking to people about it, and so much so that at the beginning of this year I went up and done the suicide and self-harm awareness course, which I just got the qualification finally. I've been waiting for it since I finished it, but I just got it. So I've got me level 2 in that, which is all right. It's only a level 2. It's not very high, but it's more than I ever had.
Yeah.
And that took me about 130 hours of study or whatever it was to get through that. Because I'm not the brightest of fellows. But it's about talking. Amen. It is about talking. It is about understanding, and like you touched on it earlier about how you can now approach people and make them feel comfortable and talk to them. And trying to help someone with suicidal ideation is that process for some people. It might work on some, might not work on others. But I've found, again, because of the podcast and everything, is that the more you talk, the better you feel.
Yeah.
Or exercise, walking, like you said, doing your fizz and stuff like that. An interest. I've got a friend who has not been, good lately, and I'm trying to get him to find something to do. Find a hobby.
Yeah.
It's all right. But again, it's all right for me to sit here and go, right, fucking go and start making fix bottles.
It's down to him.
It. It's literally down. That's the fix. You know what I mean? You've got to right, go there, do fucking jigsaw. You'll be all right. Fuck you. And then, but it's. I'm chuffed that you found a passion, and I mean, I've seen the fruits of your labour with that as well. And you are a fucking good photographer.
Thanks.
You know, you really are. You've got a talent there.
Yeah, I got to
And
keep telling myself that because sometimes I struggle with imposter syndrome. I fucking struggle with it.
everybody
Oh,
does.
it's fucking savage.
Everybody does. Everybody does. You know, and everyone likes affirmation. I always sit on here and say I do this just for something to do. But when someone messages me and says I fucking love that episode, I've got a fucking hard on for that. I really am. That's a bit extreme, isn't it? But yeah, you know what I mean. It's like it helps and it makes you want to do more as well. But I mean, the way I came across you was through the TikTok, your veterans project on there. Do
Yeah.
you want to talk about that, the thought process that brought you there and
Yeah.
what it's entailed?
So obviously, my main thing for photography is being a wedding photographer, do all that stuff, and I just wanted to do something different. When me and Mrs. we went to the British War Memorial in Normandy, and it's fucking stunning. You have to go there; it's really nice. But they've got this part where they've got a few veterans on the wall with photos and just some stories being told, and I've always wanted to do some portrait photography. I don't really do much of it. I'm more, documentary, candid stuff. So when I seen this, I was like, fuck, I want to do something like this, like, in time for remembrance. And I spoke to Mrs. and Mrs. was like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. And it wasn't, and I'm part of the Stonehenge Chamber, which is like a business committee where they all meet up and they all chip in and work together as like a community. And I'm a big fan of community stuff. Like, I think communities we are dying, and I think communities should start building up again, just the way the world is. We look after each other. So we've got the veteran community as well as having a local community. And I think like if everyone chipped in as a community, everyone looks after and has a better time. Anyway, so I went to one of these meetings, or it's like a relaunch for the Stonehenge Chamber. I went there and they were talking about how they can help businesses promote stuff, support them, and I was just like, fuck, this is it. And it just made, I was like, I'm going to go for this fucking project. And I messaged Gemma, who's like in charge of all the social media. I was like, look, I've got this idea. Would you be able to like support it and promote it? And they're like, 100%. Her husband's in the forces. So she was like, yeah, I'll fucking support this. And then from there, it built up and we was like, right, I need to find veterans. And I started advertising on social media. I need veterans for this portrait. And like most veterans, they struggle to accept or say or volunteer for stuff because they're worried about what gets said and what is done. But in my head, I knew with my background of understanding the military, I knew what I wanted to do and how to create it. As the project went on, little ideas would start coming into my head. So adding like little video reels to make it more personal, more about the veteran, and just have that connection with, because like I said, when I was a kid, I used to love hearing stories from my dad about his time in the Marines. And I know for a fact I'm not alone. I could sit there and listen to the old boys talk about, their time in the army during war, and I'd be there for fucking hours. I'd fucking love it because it's part of our history, and it's part of our country, and there's nothing like it. Like hearing those stories, it's just nothing like it. And so I thought, let's make this project. I wanted it to build pride back up and show the support that remembrance isn't just about remembering our dead, but it's also supporting our veterans, and just for the veteran lot, it's remembering our good times all together. I just feel like I think people are too scared to talk about the past. That everyone's had good times in the army, and I think that should be talked about.
Yeah, you're right. It's not all bad, not all doom
No.
and gloom, and it's not all like not everyone who leaves the army's got fucking PTSD.
No, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Fucking a lot of people have got no issues at all.
Yeah.
Right, they don't, and some of them feel guilty for that as well.
Yeah. And I don't think they should be. Like,
no, I mean, there's you touched on something there. You just mentioned, getting veterans to come on and do it, and they're worried about what the ones,
yeah.
would say. There is some fucking salty veterans out there. I've come across them. I really have. And you're just like, why are you being like that?
Yeah, there's no need.
We're all part of the same fucking family. Whether it was RLC, whether it was fucking Royal Engineers,
100%, 100%.
whether it was RAF, well,
Yeah, yeah.
I can't knock them. I've had loads of RAF lads on
It's
here.
hard.
You know
It's
what I mean?
hard to, isn't it?
Yeah, fucking better accommodation. But it is that community's out there. And
that's
weirdly,
what I
because I found you on TikTok.
Yeah,
There's a massive veteran community on TikTok, and everyone
this is what I wanted to show is the community,
Yeah.
and this is what I'm learned from it as well. And before is, it's unreal how much the veteran community or how big the community is. Like even on LinkedIn, the amount of people saying, "I know this person, I know that person," and you're like, "Fucking hell, everyone knows everyone." And you start connecting the dots, and then you start looking after each other. So I think that project, it fucking hit it over exceeded expectations. Because I was just going to do some photos and a little story to, for the post. Like I was just going to post each day for the veteran. It turned into having a display down in the Amesbury History Centre, which I weren't fucking expecting, and that's turned out really well. And
I
then
was gonna say that looked cool. That, to be honest, I was sitting looking at that. I was like, that's cool.
So it's just one of those projects where I was like, fucking hell, it's unreal, absolutely unreal. But it's also, I've used my skill as a photographer to bring that connection back in, my connection with the military side, and it's also improved my photography skill, like of working more in a studio environment,
which is very different.
Oh, massively, yeah. It's because you're usually out there, you're relying on the light out there, whereas in studio you're the one managing the light yourself. So I don't want to geek everyone. I don't want to be too much of a geek about it, but yeah.
No, that's one of the things I wouldn't say I suffer with photography. I don't understand it, and I don't understand the lighting and getting this, that, and the other. I mean, we could talk about that bit afterwards. Because, there'll be people sat there going, "Fucking shut up." Yeah, I mean,
I've grown a habit where I've even when driving a car, I'm like, "Oh, the light looks nice for this," and I've just become such an obsession. I'm just like, "Oh, fucking hell!" So
I need to pull over and take a photo.
Yeah, there's been times where I'm going to pull over now. You're like, "Oh, yeah."
Or am I going to take a photo of it? That doesn't matter.
It's helped like this. Just having a camera has helped me connect with so many more people, like around the local area, and this skill has helped me move out of that lonely world where I'm sitting on the sofa on my own, suffering anxiety, to actually getting out, meeting new people, and just becoming such a different person.
I mean, it sounds like what you're doing is not basically. The similarities with my life is that I do this. I'm lazy. I don't have to travel.
Yeah.
But I've met people from,
You've met all sorts of people, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, last year I spoke to someone you may know, and she was a staff sergeant in 47 and is now in the Australian Army. Louise Banton, I think her name was. You'll have to look back through my podcast.
Yeah.
She got out not that long ago, actually. So she might have been in 47. I can't remember. But I've spoke to people in Australia. I've spoke to people in Canada. I've spoke to American fucking police chief.
Nice.
How did that happen? I spoke to a Vietnam vet in the Australian Army. It was at the Battle of Long Tan, and I was I said so at the start, but I was like, I can't believe I'm sat here talking.
Yeah.
I couldn't get my head around that at all, and that was an interesting episode.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah,
really good. Not that I'm giving it a plug on your podcast.
No. That dude, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, we spoke before we started about the charity that you're involved with as well.
Yeah.
Did that come apart because
weirdly,
because of this?
This is the power of social media, and it can be, so social media can be a fucking nightmare, but it can be fucking powerful. And this is where, a fundraiser called Nicola, she found me on Instagram. He's like, I seen one of your videos. I like, would you be interested in doing something for homeless veterans? And I was like, no brainer. Fucking course I would. Well, I didn't say that, but in my head I was. Yeah. But I was like, happy. We met up for coffee, just got to know each other, and she's like, right, let me speak to the comms team, see if they're happy for me to do something with them. And then from there, it's still early days at the moment, but there's been talks, so we're looking to do like another display and get some homeless veterans involved, and then sort of like create stories about the homeless veterans, but using like my skills as a photographer. And I've got ideas for the style of photos because I want to build a story with it where, because with homeless veterans, and this is going to sound naive, like for me, is I hear about them a lot, but I've never seen them. I've never met a homeless veteran in person, and it's very hard to distinguish a homeless veteran to just a normal person who is homeless. So I want to create images where it start off with that you can see the person as a subject, but you can't see their face. You can't connect with them because the only way you can connect with a person is by seeing their face, really. So the first set of images would be like that, and then the next set would build a bigger picture of what that individual went through, finding exact locations where they stayed, even on the street, and recreate some images and build that story for them. And then it'll be the next set of images will be talking about like the emotions or challenges they went through being homeless, or what other challenge so like gambling, drug addiction, alcohol, all that stuff. So try and recreate back in the studio for photos and creating stories that way, what like challenges they went through there, and then it'd just be like some nice portrait photos and then a story about them.
It's outstanding. Really,
that's my thought, and I'm hoping the charity agree to it. But yeah, I think they're looking to set up a display as well in Salisbury.
I mean, it's the charities down that area, and we did speak about them before. And
yeah,
I've had another thing, and it is the same charity I was on about. I won't attempt to say the name because I can't even speak fucking English.
I'll say it. Alabra?
Yeah.
Alabra.
And from what I understand is they get homeless veterans, they get them off the street, they get them into accommodation, but what we also do is help them build.
Yes, so
I've got live.
Yeah, so they got the Homes for Veterans, the self-build program, which is a building program. Basically, they get the veterans involved in building up their skills on the building sites, build up the skills and knowledge, and then it gives them a good foundation to go and get a job out once they've done their time with a labourer, I think. And then they've got boots on the ground. I'm not too sure about that one. But yeah, the Homes for Veterans, it covers like areas Wilton, Salisbury, Plymouth, Gosport, North Wales and South Wales. So
it's quite a big area, like.
Yeah, they're covering quite a bit.
Yeah.
So
it's mad that it's going to be charities like this and my understanding is with that one it was actually formed by a veteran as well. Or the start of it was, I think.
Yes, yeah. So the people in charge are ex-veterans as well, so they fully understand it all. So yeah, it's nice to get a connection with them, 100%.
Right. It's coming up to an hour and 40. I bet you never expected it to last that long, did you?
No, yeah.
I don't want to take up too much more of your time. One question though, if you were to give anyone advice who is thinking of leaving the military, consider that you left a lot more recent than I did. I left with Ben Hare and fucking. It feels like I joined with Ben Hare anyway. Fucking hell. What would it be? What would you give someone who's serving currently and they're thinking of leaving?
Okay, now where do I start? One, don't burn your bridges. Because you could be surprised who the people you've worked with in the past can help you in the future. And two, don't make rash decisions. If you think, like, just sit down and have a think about it before actually going for it. Yeah. I'd say. So don't make anything rash.
Yeah, it's not always, the grass isn't always greener.
Not always, but it can be. You just got to understand where to go. I'd say
you've got to put the work in yourself because no one's there to back you up, and no one's going to help you do it.
And well, they can just look at my photography business. Like, it's all done by myself. I've gone out and done the work, and the proof's in the pudding now.
I must admit, I did look at some more of your stuff, your wedding photography, and I absolutely adore that photo with the tractor.
Oh yeah, yeah. Which one? I've done two. I've done two now. So
where the lifted the tractor up.
Oh, the swing.
Yeah, on a swing.
That was the groom's idea. The groom. So he sat down. He's like, "Mate, I've thought of an idea. Why wouldn't we do like a swing with the tractor?" And I'm all up for like new ideas. I'm like, "Yeah, keen." And we know a location where it's like on a hill. It's a really nice view. And we took it up there, and yeah, it was perfect.
I've never seen any. I've not seen a photo like that before.
That's
Or an
fucking
idea before.
yeah. Yeah, fucking brilliant. Great idea.
We'll remember that one. I mean, yeah. I mean, let's not get bogged down into the wedding photography.
No,
Because we're going to be here for a while, right? Let's say it's coming to 1 hour and 40. I don't want to take so much of your time up.
no,
Thanks for
thank you,
coming on the
Frankie.
podcast, mate.
Really appreciate it. I've enjoyed it, mate. Thank you.
I've learnt more about you than I thought I was going to be honest. A lot more. And it's been entertaining and interesting. So I'll say good night now. I'll stop the recording. And again, thanks for coming on, mate. Honestly, appreciate it.
Thanks, Frankie.
I hope you enjoyed that podcast. I enjoyed recording it. If you could just hit the like button, and also if you could subscribe and hit the notification bell, that'd be great, because it'll help the channel grow. The more people will see it, the bigger it'll get, and the more guests I can get on, and the more people I can talk to. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, like I said. Look forward to the next one. Hopefully we'll be out next week as normal. Bye-bye now.